Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Color Me This. I'm here for another video, and first I'm going to give you an update on projects I have finished that I talked about in the last video. I had talked about taking all of my professional pencil sets and putting them into a tote and making them available 100% of the time in an effort to be able to go over and sit down and do 15 minutes of coloring on a project or an hour of coloring on a project without having to go through and pull out and then put back my pencils. I believe I have mentioned that I just finished a 6.5-year slow travel in an RV journey. We sold our home in 2016, and in January 2017, I gave notice and retired from a job that I had done for 22 years. I worked in IT, I worked for the web department in various roles over those 22 years. The last role I played was what is called a Scrum Master, and I managed sprints, which is a term for different small code releases for our websites. So I hit the road. By March we were ready to leave, and had been doing that for the last 6.5 years, and we just purchased a home last October. So I am embracing the stationary life, and one of the things that I get to do as a non-traveling full-time person is have my pencils and all of my art supplies available to me in whatever form I choose to make them. So here is my tote, and it is full of every single set of professional colors. I've sectioned them off into basically whites, yellows, creams, pinks to purple, greens. Oh, sorry, I am wrong. This is in the wrong section. There we go. See, this is the joy of having everything open. So, browns, pinks, red, purple, green, gray, black, white, yellow, orange, and the blues to the aqua blues. So these are all bundled by brand, and I own all of the luminance, all of the polychromos, all of the Derwent Lightfast, all of the Pablos, that's Caran d'Ache, all of the Derwent Drawing, as well as a few from one of my favorite nature and animal drawing people. I own some Derwent Studios, which are a very hard pencil for fine details. Let's see, am I missing any brands in here? I know, I think I got them all. So the only pencil that I have more than one of a full set, I own a few extras of the polychromos, namely in the browns and an extra black. And I have in the Lightfast a 72 set. I had just purchased the 72 set in a tin for a really good price. The 100 was not priced well at all. And then in Oregon, the Merry Artist had a box set of the 100 for $2.99, no tax, no ship. So I bought it. So that's the only set that I have multiples of in the professional pencils. I do also have a few extra luminance, mainly the whites and the percents of the light tans and browns. So with these out, I should be able to pick up a study, get going on it very quickly. I have a Bonnie Snowden book that I bought digitally, and I have finished the first exercise or the first study. Pardon my cough. I have it here. So my goal was to be able to I have a dedicated drafting table. That's not where my camera is right now. And that drafting table is ready for me to draw at. But this is my first study of hers that I really like. The size of her kitten is bigger. This is a 5x7. And I think that it's supposed to be more like a 7x9. So I found the face and the eyes and that little tiny nose very, very delicate. And thank goodness I have a good sharpener to get those pencils that you use for the eyes and the nose, like the polychromos. I could get them to a very fine point so that I could make them as sharp as I needed to get those little details. The only thing that I can see that I am not too happy with is I'm not the best at doing the embossing for the whiskers, and I have a couple of embossing swipes that I made that I'm not happy with. I just need to spend more time practicing on the embossing technique that I'm not the best at. This was done on her recommended material. I should probably write down what it was on, and I will research that because I know I do have every single drawing media that she uses, from the pastel mat and pastel board to whatever the white is that she uses. So I have all of those gathered up, and then I do have Duralar film as well as the graphics drafting film mat on both sides. So my favorite medium to color on actually right now is the Duralar, although it has an issue with it loses its matte surface very quickly. So I'm glad I did get the drafting film, and I suspect when I do my first drafting film exercise, I will like it even better than the Duralar. The other update I have is I bought the Staedtler 48 set. I got it at Walmart, I think for $12, and I like to collect interesting pencils, and these are a triangular pencil. I don't know if you can hear this, but a dove has decided to park itself very near my window. So this project I just finished, my husband calls this like a psychedelic experience, and I was just exploring with the colors that I had, doing some blending and using an eraser and some different things. I think next on this I am going to use gel pens, which I did just buy a replacement set of gel pens. Years ago, when we first traveled, I brought a whole bunch of art supplies with me, including I had a variety of the jelly roll sets, the glaze, souffle, the ones that, the metallic, whatever the different ones are. So this time around, now that I am stationary, I picked a brand to experiment with that the price was pretty good. I got them from Amazon, and that is Castle Arts. So I will be doing a video on that separate. I have finished my swatching and had a very interesting experience with it that I'll talk about. And I did buy some other Castle Art products that I have in my queue to swatch. Then I also finished one of my first attempts at doing my own drawing. This was from a tutorial, but I didn't use the tutorial. I think I just downloaded her picture, this particular artist. I don't remember who it was because this was 2018. And I had the image. I did my own line art. And then I started to color it, and I wasn't very happy with the colors, so I put it away. And now I just brought it back out and have spent time with it again to experiment with having my pencils out, so I could just pull pencils that I wanted to use, and I still did not use a guide. And this is probably not one of my best works on my own. I think the Grim the dog is my best, but this was drawn as line art 4 years ago, and it was already colored, so I had to work within what I had already done and just try to spruce it up some. So I think it came out okay. So now I am sitting here with my projects finished, ready to embark upon some new projects. I typically I've got a Lazy Susan that's bamboo, actually 2 of them, so I can do 2 of those projects that use lots of pencils. And then I have a collapsible little Lazy Susan that I made for when I was traveling that collapses flat. It has my Staedtler pencils, and those get to go away so that I can start working on a different set. I typically like to do a coloring book type project, either coloring book or electronic, which this Pegasus is an electronic. I download the free electronic drawings. This is from Ruby Charm, and I really like her style of whimsical, detailed animals. And I really love how she put the flowers in the horse. Love to do horses. So I have purchased, and I'm going to do a video on those, a bunch of used coloring books. And I have only opened one, and I have 4 other ones that aren't opened, and we're going to open them together. So I'm going to work on that, and I'll get that videoed. I've got the Castle Arts. I have purchased Starjoy 120, Starjoy Gold 120s. And then I also have the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils for crafting. My primary hobby as a side gig is I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so I do card crafting and paper crafting. So I have had those for a little while now, since I have landed here and have room for more art supplies. So I will be swatching those as well. And that's everything I have got. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns about my status, anything that I'm doing, I plan on also videoing my craft room. So my craft room is quite large. It is a fully enclosed Florida room or screen room, whatever you want to call it. And I get the entire space. Initially, I was going to share it with my husband, but he actually sits right behind me in the living room, which is like a half a step up, but we have this big sliding glass door that closes so that I can be in here and be filming while he is right behind me and I can't hear him hardly at all, so that I can film anytime I want without having to have him clear the room or try to be really quiet, and it works out really well that way. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word for my channel. This is my second channel. I do also have my own channel under my name, Tracy Marie Lewis, that's mostly crafting. And a couple years ago, I was doing crafting and traveling. But when COVID hit, I stopped doing the traveling because we stopped going to a bunch of exciting new places and pretty much had to stick with just a very fixed, we stayed for longer periods of time in safe places where we could go, and traveling was kind of halted pretty much. So I will be coming back with all those extra projects that I have talked about. And as always, thanks for watching.